is May the 20th, 2017. Welcome to this week's weekly weather briefing. The past week was fairly warm and above average in the temperature department, but still, overall, the month of May has still fell below average, which was my forecast. We have about 10 days of May left, and then we'll have to see where we are at when it comes to the temperature department. Hopefully, we're still below normal, so that way my forecast can verify, and we do have more below normal temperatures to talk about, which I will get to later on in the video, but right now we do have some showers and thunderstorms scattered in nature that are going to the north and east right now, some of which are going through Benton and Murray, as you can tell of this recording, and this was taken around 11:30 on Saturday morning, May the 20th, and a lot of these thunderstorms have continued to train over the same areas. I live in Graves County, and we haven't got a lot of rain in the last couple of days, but just folks to our east in Benton and Murray have picked up over an inch of rain in some communities, so we're going to wait and see where the final totals end up shaping up at. But right now it looks like those areas that have already been seeing the training thunderstorms are still going to walk off with the heaviest rain totals, but a more widespread shower and thunderstorm threat will arrive to the entire purchase area. So if you have been lacking rainfall the last 24 to 48 hours, don't worry, because Mother Nature has not left you out of the game. We still have some more showers and thunderstorms that are rising out from the Memphis area and the Dyersburg, Tennessee area, as well as from the Boot Hill of Missouri, and we will see a more line of thunderstorms and congealed line move towards the north and east this afternoon. Some of those showers and thunderstorms embedded in that line could very well bring the threat of damaging winds, maybe some large hail, and then, as always, torrential downpours, cloud-to-ground lightning, and then we could have maybe an isolated tornado risk, but that's really pushing it. But anytime we have a thunderstorm, we have to mention the risk of a tornado, because that's just the way the weather works. So if you have a thunderstorm, you always got a threat of a tornado because of how the atmosphere is. But now, as we go throughout the rest of today, the atmosphere is not going to be very favorable for tornadoes. If we do see one, it would probably be a very short-lived QLCS tornadoes, which are very short-lived tornadoes. Not going to say that they can't do a lot of damage, because they can, but they're not as serious as more strong and long-lived tornadoes that we see with more isolated supercells. So we shouldn't have to worry about that today. We'll see if we can get throughout the day without any severe weather going on. But the Storm Prediction Center, which I will go ahead and show you now, has already put our area in the risk. They had us in a slight risk yesterday, but since then they have downgraded us to a marginal risk. As you can tell here, that slight risk has now moved off to the east in parts of Louisville, E-Town, Bowling Green, but here back in the purchase area, we are still hanging on with that marginal risk. So there's still that risk of severe weather, but it's not as great as what it once was. Don't get too hung up on the colors. The weather does not follow color boundaries. It does what it wants to do. So don't be aware. Don't take these colors into consideration as if a severe thunderstorm is going to be more severe once it crosses this yellow line, because that's not the way it works. Like I said, the weather is going to do what it wants to do. Let's go ahead and look at this week's weather. You can tell this system will begin to move off to our east by this afternoon. It looks like that line of storms that moves through later on this evening, early tonight. Once it pushes through, that will be the final round of widespread severe weather. Sorry, not severe weather, but widespread storms. After that line comes through, then we will be looking at more likely just some light showers that will be dotting radar between now and maybe around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. After that, I think Sunday's going to shape up to be a gorgeous Sunday. It will be a lot better than the first half of the weekend today on Saturday, where it was mainly cloudy and a couple of rain and thunderstorms. But as we go throughout the rest of this week, we're going to see another system move into the region. Kind of getting complicated with the forecast once we get into the middle of this upcoming week, because we have kind of two systems coming towards us. One of them is going to really, I think, stay to our south, but it could spit a few showers up towards our area around the Monday and Tuesday time frame. Now, we are going to be watching this northern system as it moves through, and it will be spinning out some showers as well. And then yet another area of low pressure will be formed just to our south, keeping us on the cool side. This would be for Wednesday. Temperatures on Wednesday were originally looking like they would be in the upper 50s to low to mid 60s. Now it looks like they will be a little bit warmer than that, probably going to be in the upper 60s to low 70s, but still well below average for this time of the year. That system will move out by the end of this work week, and then by the time we get into next weekend, possibly another system to keep a close eye on. So that active pattern still looks to be remaining with us, but the good news is that none of these systems look to have the risk of severe weather with them, unless something dramatic changes in the track of these low pressure systems. It just doesn't look very favorable for severe weather. So that is the good news. I want to take you a closer look with the HER model on what the storms are going to be doing this afternoon. Like I said earlier, the scattered variety showers and thunderstorms will continue, but when we see this line of thunderstorms, that's when everybody's going to pick up some rainfall, and it will continue to move off towards the north and east. And this would be at, let's see, this would be 5 p.m. this evening, and you can tell that that is when that line of thunderstorms looks to be moving through the Purchase area, give or take an hour or two. And some of these do have the look to them that they could have a couple of damaging wind gusts embedded in there, so make sure that you are aware of that. Any tents that you might have still set up from Mother's Day activities a week ago, you might want to take those down just in case we end up seeing some of those nasty storms roll in. But other than that, we're looking at mainly just some light rain and moderate rain behind it, with a couple of spotty showers to go along with that for early on Sunday morning. Some of those, like the HER model is picking up, could be a little bit heavy, but I think by the time we're waking up Sunday morning, this cold front will almost have cleared the entire Purchase area, and then we will be left with mainly clouds on Sunday morning in the first half of the day, eventually clearing out and making way for some sunshine in the afternoon. So hopefully, if you wanted to lay out and get some pool time on Saturday, you might can do that Sunday now that the weather looks to be a little bit more favorable for that. The cold front moves through later on tonight and early tomorrow morning on Sunday, so that leaves us with temperatures a little bit cooler than we have been dealing with this week, into the upper 70s by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday, with the welcome arrival of some clouds and possible rainfall, especially by Wednesday. We're going to see those temperatures taking a nosedive into the upper 60s to lower 70s. And then as we get into Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, those temperatures will continue to increase on the thermometer. And then depending on how much rain we end up getting, if any rain next weekend, will also depend on how much cloud cover, and that will affect the temperatures as well. So if we look at the rainfall over the next 7 days, of course, very complicated, and as you know, we have had those training thunderstorms, so your neighbor picks up an inch and you pick up nothing. That's the way it works at this time of the year. We're starting to enter into that time of the year where you can get nothing, and just a few miles down the road, they get several inches of rainfall. So it's very complicated to forecast on those kind of setups, so make sure that you're aware of that. Now, as we go throughout the next week, it looks like widespread a half inch to an inch of rain with pockets of higher totals, especially adding in today's rainfall, for where many areas have already picked up over an inch of rain. Have a great week.